Hey, welcome back. I'm Alex and today I'm going to show you a new exciting method on how you can cultivate pineapple plants from a pineapple top. This new method will focus on cultivating pineapple suckers, which is a key goal when trying to cultivate and produce pineapples from a pineapple top. These suckers will grow better, faster and stronger than if we were just to focus on cultivating this top section of the fruit like we did in a previous video. If you want to see that video, then click on the little link that's just popped up there in the top right and you can see that method of cultivating a pineapple top to make a pineapple plant. In this method though, we're focusing on producing suckers, pineapple suckers. These little suckers that we're aiming to produce should grow a pineapple, a full-sized pineapple, in about 18 months, as opposed to growing a pineapple plant from the top, like we did in the last video. That method will take about 24 months to produce a pineapple, and it won't be a full-size one. It'll be a little miniature pineapple. I've heard they taste great. Our plants that we produced in them other videos, they're about a year away from getting to the stage of producing that pineapple, and I still cannot find any information out there why it'll be a tiny pineapple and not a full-size one. If you happen to know, then bang that information into the comments. Let us know, the community, why it grows a small pineapple and not a full-sized one. If this is your first time here and you love gardening videos, horticulture, ornamental plant care and DIY, then make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the bell notification so you tell YouTube you're interested in this stuff and you don't miss a future upload. So let's dive right in, get started. The first thing you're going to need obviously is a pineapple, and you want to get the freshest pineapple that you can find. When you're looking at your pineapple in the supermarket and then inspecting it, look in the center, part the leaves with your fingers and look right down there, see if you can see any rot or discoloration. Give the little leaves a nice little tug as well, see if they come out. If the fruit started rotting and it's already aged, the leaves will pull out really easy. That's going to be no good. The plant's lost too much life. We need enough life in there so the plant can start setting out roots, survive long enough to put down them roots and start prolonging its life until it does its thing and starts growing. So once you've selected a pineapple you're happy with, you want to just screw off the top, put the actual pineapple to one side. It's nice barbecued. And then we're just going to pull off these bottom leaves. We want to be careful not to damage these little roots. You see the little roots there, little root nodules. Some will have more than others, and they hopefully are going to sustain our pineapple top a little bit until it works its magic. Now, this is a nice fresh pineapple. It seems to be in pretty nice condition, so we're going to have quite a nice chance of success rate, I imagine. So what we're going to do is take a nice sharp knife, trim that bit there, and now we're going to divide our pineapple into quarters. Be careful you don't cut yourself. You're probably thinking, blooming heck, green thumb, are you sure this is going to work? But I can assure you, it does. And I'll show you the success after we've prepared these ones. So we're going to cut it into quarters. They can be a bit awkward to cut, but it's not too bad. So we're cutting it into 4 quarters like this. So what we need to do now is take a knife, or maybe a smaller one, and just where the base is here, this is where the plant is growing. That's the central growth of the plant. If you see these new little pineapple suckers that are growing, they grow from the center. That's how they grow, like a palm tree. So what we need to do is just at the base here, we're just gonna chop that out like that. So we're just left with the side growth. That's going to stop the plant obviously trying to grow upwards because the centre's gone. And it's going to force the plant to grow laterally by growing some basal shoots. So let's just finish off getting that out there. Just cut a little bit in. It's not a lot, you're just taking out that central growth. If you haven't got a sharp knife, you could just grab it there like this, look. And that's going to do the same thing. If you don't want to mess about with a knife, you just take out the central growth that way. I'm going to just tidy it off with the knife. So what we can do now is leave these to dry in a shady place somewhere what's not got direct sunlight, and we're just going to allow this to grow a little bit of a skin to piff over, and that'll take about a day. Or what we can do is plant it straight away and just use a little bit of cinnamon. And that cinnamon is an antibacterial, it's an antimicrobial, anti-fungicide, and that's just going to protect our plant from pathogens and whatnot until it has time to shoot out those basal shoots. Look at all that cinnamon I've wasted. Anyone would think I were a millionaire wasting all that cinnamon. I like to plant them straight away, because just waiting one day, it's going to be losing life. But it's up to you. It depends how fresh your pineapple is. I've prepared some yesterday, which I've already skinned over, look. And you can see they've just dried up on the side, and that's going to stop pathogens getting in. It's not going to be as easy for them to get in. So we're going to plant these ones up also. Let's rub the cinnamon in there. This pineapple were a lot older. In fact, I was supposed to make the video yesterday, but my battery ran out, and then I got all upset. We'll move that to one side, and I'm going to reuse this Amazon box. We're going to fill this with soil, but you could just use a pot or a Tupperware, because we're not going to be growing our quarters, should I call it, not a top anymore. We're not going to be growing them full time in here. This is just to get the basal shoots growing. We'll dampen up this soil. So once we've gave it a good watering, the only thing we're going to do then is bury our tops into the soil, and we're going to stick them together, these ones, like this. These are the ones we allow to skin over for a day. Like that. So what we want to do is keep this soil moist and keep it out of strong direct sunlight. We want bright light, but we don't want anything that's going to dry these out. We want to try and keep them moist and humid. What we can also do is water this once a week with horsetail tea, which will serve as a fungicide, antimicrobial. If you want to know how you can make horsetail tea to use with your plants, then click on the video that's just popped up there. This is going to take about a month until we see any activity, and if your plants are still showing some green and some life, they're not dead and all dried up, after 2 weeks, you know that you're onto a winner. In some cases, a quarter that we've planted can grow 2 plantlets or 2 suckers, as we have here. Look, we've had great, the other quarters didn't make it, they died, but this one, well, we had double bubble. With this one, we got 2 nice little growth points coming from it. So we're going to repot these now. We're going to split them, take a look at the roots that have developed, and put them in a nice little pot each that should serve them for the next six months. So what we want is a nice potting soil. You can add some coarse sand to that potting soil, a horticultural one. That'll help it, because we want good drainage. Pineapples like good drainage and rich, nutritious soil. So we can add 10% sand to it, or find a good potting soil that's already got perlite and other materials added to it to help it drain sufficiently. So let's depot this. There's our quarter, look. How cool is that? Too cool. Look at that. 2 beautiful little plantlets. And that'll just break straight off. Look at the root there that's formed. You see, these are proper plantlets. It's not like when you're cultivating an actual pineapple top, it's like making a cutting. It's never going to have a real root system, where this does. This is a proper plant with a properly formed root system. So let's just dig our hand in there. We're going to bury the roots in there and just pack it in. Like that. Pack it all around so it's in there nice and tight and sturdy. We've just got this one to do now. Let's just, oh, see that? I just snapped off. We've got not as many roots on this one. But it'll be fine if we keep it moist. It'll put down some decent roots. That's it. I'm going to pack it in so it's nice and sturdy and got plenty of support. There we are. Amazing, eh? That's from a pineapple that you'd probably eat, chuck away the top. People don't know that you can actually make a genetic clone, a copy of that pineapple you're eating. Del Monte will be turning in his grave if he knew what we were doing. Let's just give him a sprinkling of water. You could actually give these some horsetail tea too, just to stave off any fungal or pathogens. So we're going to allow our little suckers, our little plantlets, to get established in these pots, and then once the roots have filled the pot, we can plant them into a bigger pot so they can continue growing. If you're fortunate enough to live in a zone like zone 11 to 12, then you could plant your pineapples directly out in the garden with no worries, and they'd do brilliant. But if you've got cold winters and it regularly falls lower than 50 degrees Fahrenheit, then the plant in them temperatures is going to stop growing, and a frost will certainly kill the plant. In them conditions, it would be better to keep your plant in a container and bring it in winter into a shed, into a conservatory, somewhere that the temperature remains warm enough to keep them alive, and then in summer you can bring them out again. Pineapples like high humidity and regular waterings, but allow the soil to dry a little bit in between waterings, and that'll avoid problems like root rot. And in the active growing months, you want to be fertilizing about once a month. Let's take a look at the tops that we grew in a previous episode. I'll show you how they're coming along. These are the tops that we started growing about a year ago using the whole top of the pineapple, and these have got about a year left in them, I reckon, before they start producing that pineapple stalk. And well, now we're living in Cordoba, and that's about zone 9B, and the winters get quite cold. In fact, it should be really cold now, but climate change and everything, still we're getting quite a good bit of sun. But when it starts getting cold and falling below 20 in the nights, which is about now, but it's still warm enough through the days, I'm going to be putting these in the potting shed where we was just before, and I'll be sticking my dragon fruit in there as well, and that should protect them from any frost. So we're getting a lot closer to seeing fruits on these, and it's going to be really exciting to see that little fruit or flower stalk popping out of the centre. If you want to know about 5 organic natural pesticides that you can use in your garden to combat and fight plagues and pests, then click on the video that's just popped up in the top right corner. As always, it's been a pleasure to be able to catch up with you guys, show you this awesome new method of how you can cultivate pineapples from tops. If you want to support the channel, then be sure to share this video with your friends, comment, like the video. That tells YouTube that you like the content, and hopefully they'll recommend it to more people. We're going to be doing channel memberships in the future. If that's something you're interested in, then that'll be available sometime in the future. I'm not sure when, but it is coming. So, well, until next time, guys, I'll see you later.